What's up, everybody? Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's been a minute since I made a post here, and I'm really excited about this one because this is a different type of post than what I'm used to doing. I'm typically hosting math content on this channel, as you know, but today I'm venturing into a different route and I'm hosting some commentary from two students that are playing Netrunner. Now, you may know this, but we have a Netrunner club at Echo, and it's been going really well. This is the second tournament we've had. We have 12 players sign up. We had 8 last time, so the club is growing. And we're kind of in the middle of this tournament. And the way it works is it's called a double-sided Swiss tournament, and there's different rounds, right? So in the first round, players are paired up against each other, and they play 2 matches, and you're awarded 3 points for a win and 0 points for a loss. So you can either split, get a win and a loss and get 3 points with your opponent, or it's possible to sweep an opponent like you're seeing down here and get 6 points. So in this round, Fernando swept Joseph in round 1 and got all 6 points. Now, after 2 rounds, the standings are as such. It's very competitive. You have 4 players right now that have all won 3 of their 4 matches, 2 matches around, and we're going into the third round. And in the third round, a lot of the games have happened already, as you can see. There's been a few sweeps. We have 3 sweeps here, and we have 1 split between Winston and Alvin. And something very special is about to happen where 2 players, both Brandon, who goes by the handle compChomp2.0, and Nuno, who goes by the handle GiuseppeCadura, are going to play, and I'm going to take a shot at commentating this. I've never done commentary for Netrunner, so you'll have to bear with me. I don't have access to a microphone right now, so the audio is not going to be great, but what you are going to be seeing is Netrunner. And I'm excited to see this matchup in round 3, and I hope you are too. What you're going to see is competitive Netrunner amongst players that have been playing for about 3 months. You're going to see some commentary by me. I'm going to hope to talk a little bit about strategy. And this is something I find that's difficult to see on the internet. I find if you go on the internet and you look for Netrunner commentary, it's really aimed at people that play standard, which is the full card pool of about 700 cards. And that's really difficult. When I first started, there wasn't a lot of stuff out there that helped you. So let's look at these starting hands. I think both players have a decent starting hand. On the runner side, you have Shore Gamble, which you want to start. It gives you a lot of money. You don't have any draw, but you have your console. You got Penny Shaver, which we talked is going to be good for the late game. That's going to give you a credit every time you make a run, and you're going to make a lot of successful runs throughout the game. So you're going to have to draw for some type of icebreakers, but at least you're starting with your console and Shore Gamble. It's okay. The runner hand, the corp hand is great. You got your cheap ice, Palisades. You got Tith, which is great. You have Diviner. These are like 3 of the best ice that you can see early on. He drew into Hedge Fund. He's got Skunk Works. He's got the forward moving agenda. Giuseppe has like a green starting hand. Let me turn down the volume on this here so it's not scorching. Cool, close this. So he opens with putting Palisade in the remote, followed by off-roll and advance. This is a very standard opening. You're essentially saying, show me that you can get into this server on your first turn, and that's going to be difficult for the runner. The runner has no ability to get in here. With 3 clicks left, you could try to draw, see if you can draw a Mayfly. Mayfly would be the best scenario, but with servers open, opting here just to get down the Penny Shaver, take a look at R&D, look at the top card, you're going to get a credit, see a card, it's open, and it looks like by the timing here, maybe it's something trashable, and compChomp's thinking about trashing here because it's taking a little bit longer to access. So first click was Hedge Fund, get that money up. Second click, put down the Penny Shaver. Third click, run R&D. Now debating what to do with the 4th click here. You probably want to draw up. You could run here. You're gonna get a credit for running, so I agree it's not a bad move to run HQ there. I think that's nice. Of course, we know looking at the cards that it's not there. It's going to be an easy advance for the corp. I mean, perfect opening, very standard aggressive play. Really, the cards were just perfect there. Brandon now installs Dockland's Pass, getting the economy up and getting smartware and checking the top of R&D. I like this here. Unseen card. It's unfortunate that we didn't have a click to use smartware. I think on that last turn, if you weren't going to use Dockland's Pass, don't put it on the table. I think clicking smartware, put $3 on it and save Dockland's Pass at that point is probably the better move. If you're going to use Dockland's, great. Corp's in an interesting spot. They have no agendas to score. So here I would expect Ice, Hedge Fund. Put a nice on HQ. They decide on R&D to put Diviner. I think that's good. It'll slow them down. It's very cheap. You're certainly not going to put your Palisade on R&D there. That ice specifically really needs to go on the remote. I think you could put Tith on HQ. Is a perfect piece of ice for HQ in general. If you're not flooded with agendas and you don't have agendas in HQ, it provides just the right amount of tax to tax the runner for checking HQ. Of course, hedge fund, get your money up while you still have $5. And that was interesting, really playing hard into the remote. Not sure I like this here because there's only one Skunkworks in the entire starter pool format, and by leaving it there in HQ without it protected, and the runner has access to Dockland's Pass on the table, you're allowing the runner to come in and trash that card. And I'd rather see that card go into server 1 right now. Just be much better protected behind this and the run ice. So I think that's probably a mistake here. Why bother protecting this server 1 when you don't have anything to protect? Here's an interesting play here. compChomp decides to use VRcation not as the last click to get cards. I think that's... Oh, was that the last click? Smartware? Draw? Penny Shaver. It was the last click to get the hand up and discards overclock. I think that's okay. I'd probably keep the overclock. You have 2 tread lightlies. But I mean, that's a call on how you want to play this. But I think with Mayfly, which comes in with a strength of 1, I think the overclock is nice. Okay, this is played very well now. So Giuseppe has the off-world office, and I'd expect them to try to score this now. Maybe install it in the remote. Probably not advance it. Probably install it and put the skunk there. Ooh, the advance. All right. That kind of gives the hand away, and I'd expect compChomp to play Mayfly and then go hard. This is where it'd be nice to have that overclock, to have that extra money now. But tread lightly is not bad either, knowing that every piece of ice the Corp tries to run now is going to cost 3 more. So this Palisade is actually going to cost 6 instead of 3. Same with this one here. And that's going to eat up a lot of Giuseppe's money, not going to be able to res. And you could see how much better it would be to have Skunkworks there. Because had you put Skunkworks in the remote, Skunkworks doesn't cost 3 more to res. So you could res the Palisades, you could res the Skunk. It would really tax the runner or tax the Corp. Or now by putting this extra piece of ice here and not having the Skunk there, or putting this extra advancement token there rather than the Skunk, especially when Seamless is in hand and you can fast advance that on the next turn. Very interesting play. So he's going to res here. And I mean, with Mayfly, he's getting in for $4. You can't res the other ice. Is it worth you paying 6 now for the runner to pay 4? I guess they lose their Mayfly, so I kind of do like this play. I think you got to lose 1 or res 1 and say, okay, you're going to lose that Mayfly. So I mean, compChomp is going to break here and go in. I can't see a scenario where compChomp decides to hold on to the Mayfly. I mean, this is why, I guess in some crazy world, if this is an Urtica cipher here, it does 3 damage. Oh, no. I guess if it's an Urtica cipher, you sit there and you say, okay, I could die right here, but if that was the scenario, why use the tread lightly in the first place, right? Like you're using the tread lightly to get in there, right? going to go for it on centrals. And that was a defining moment in the game here. I think if you're going to use the tread lightly, you have to go in and try to access that card. You can't use tread lightly and then say, oh, but wait, it could be Urtica Cipher. Or just draw before you do the run if that's the scenario. Well, that's nice, though. That's a good payoff for that. Jailbreak R&D. And then this is an interesting play to res this. I mean, you save $1 resing Palisade there. I don't know. I would save the buck. Cool. We got ourselves a game, 4-3. Very exciting. These are two fast players. Like I said, they've been playing for a few months, so it's interesting to see them go at it. They got a lot of chops. compChomp really needs to start to put this Dockland's Pass maybe use. There's certainly a lot of cards in HQ that haven't been seen, but compChomp has also done a good job accessing a lot of the cards in HQ. So access is 2, first card off is Seamless, and Government Subsidy, that's not going to help. It does give some money on Penny Shaver, and it does allow for Carmen to come in as a discount. After a successful run, Carmen comes in for 3 instead of 5, and ends with Creative Commission. That was a really nice turn there. Really nice turn. Giuseppe here's got no agendas. They have this Urtica Cipher, and they have the Skunk. They could make a play here to drop those in the remote, and that's going to really slow down compChomp, I believe, if it gets in the remote there and advanced. Something like Hedge Fund Install Advanced would certainly slow down and make a really tough spot for the corp. Now, gaining a credit there doesn't make much sense. I guess you want to play Government Subsidy, but what do you need the money for? You have something that's 3 to res. I mean, I think you could have waited a turn. Yeah, I don't understand the gain of credit there. Started with 8. I mean, had you done a different order here, you started with 8 credits. You could have just hedge fund Government Subsidies and still installed something. So this gaining a click here was gaining a credit was just didn't make any sense. Start with 8, just play hedge fund and then Government Subsidy. Why gain a credit? Math doesn't make sense there. compChomp's drawing up, and it looks like they put money on Smartware and just drew 3 times. Would have been nice to see a little bit of the pressure kept up. I guess they don't want to lose their Mayfly, but at 4 points, it's a tough spot. Oh, nice. Got another spectator. All right. It's interesting. Install advanced Urtica Cipher. And now compChomp has a decision. Do you go and run this? Sacrifice your whole hand? Give up your Mayfly? Puts you in a really tough spot to see what it is. And it looks like by installing that, I'm guessing that's a no, which I think is a good read here, saying, as the runner, you say, I have Mayfly on the table. I can get through anything. I got money. The corp wouldn't just go and install advance without maybe putting another piece of ice there, knowing I can get through. I do think you need to put some pressure on R&D lock here and make sure that you're seeing these top cards here. Of course, it's difficult when you can only get through once with Mayfly. That's tough. You really want to see here maybe, okay, you really want to get some of these draw cards down, either VRcation and get your breakers down finally, or verbal and try to draw up next turn. You have to find your breakers. You can't sit here with just Carmen. You must find your breakers. What's nice though about, okay, going for it. So compChomp has done a nice job of having enough cards to be able to survive a Urtica Cipher here, but unfortunately is going to run into Urtica Cipher. It's difficult with putting two advancements on it because it's certainly... I'm not sure what's happening here. Nope, breaking obviously. Okay. Now Giuseppe should res here to make it look like he is protecting this server. I think even though it costs 60, that's the right move. You don't want to res because you want to keep them in, but I think you have to make it appear like you want to try to let them in. You have $16. You have no choice but to play the part. I think a no res there might alert the runner that it's Urtica Cipher. Here you don't trash this. It's $2. You know what it is. There's no point to trash it. You just leave it there. The trash cost of Urtica Cipher is only there if you access it in R&D or HQ. Yeah, that was a tough break. Really, one of the deciding points of the game was earlier running with Tread Lightly on that server and then deciding to jack out and not. And sometimes that happens. You guess wrong. The first time you say, oh, I think it is an Urtica Cipher. The second time you say it is, it's not. It's tough. And I think if you keep accessing HQ and you're seeing two at a time, you have a better chance of discovering that Urtica Cipher and trashing it. Same thing with running R&D. So running R&D and HQ actually help you not run into Urtica Cipher as much because you're going to have a chance of seeing those cards there and having the ability to trash them. Giuseppe seeing right now that still no agendas, so just locking down here R&D with another piece of ice, Divine Brand, which is the strongest ice in the format. I still think this Skunk Works isn't really safe in HQ. I think this is something that Brandon would like to destroy here. We'll see what Brandon does here. Just another draw there. Would have been nice to see Smartware clicked down. Unfortunately, last turn on net damage lost both VRcation and Verbal Plasticity, which were the two cards really needed to draw up and find the breakers, although no breakers were discarded. Okay, here, interestingly enough, mandatory draw, we found Off-World Office. So I'm expecting this to go in the remote with Skunk, and I don't even know if you need to advance it here because you have Seamless Launch in hand. So I would probably maybe install Skunk there. If you want to advance it, you can, but Brandon's going to be on the clock to find a breaker that can even get in that server, and I don't even know if he's got enough money. It's a tough spot to be in. Really has drawn really poorly. Unlucky. There's only 8 cards left in the deck, and 2 of those cards are Cleaver, and one of them is going to be the remaining Mayfly. So the 3 pieces of ice that get through there, unfortunately, are in the bottom 8. I think at this point, it's a tough spot to be in. There's Cleaver. You could install Cleaver. You could take the money off of Penny Shaver, and then you could overclock. I don't know if it's enough. It's another Palisades. This will cost 3, 6, 9 plus 5. That's 14. You'll have 4, 11, but you got to install down to 8. Yeah, it's not going to be enough money, unfortunately. That's GG. Yeah. And there's the play, but it's the correct play, but it's just not enough with Skunk Works. And again, had you ran HQ earlier, you could have trashed the Skunk Work a long time ago. Maybe even the Urtica Cipher, they both sat there the whole game, and then those don't get in the server. You don't get taxed running there for them. But unfortunately, that's the right play there, but it's just too little, too late. And here you should be able to read that you can't get in because you can count that this costs you 9, and you know the only upgrade in this format is Skunk Works, which costs 5, so it costs you 14 to get in, and you only started the run with 7 in your pool and 5 on overclock. So you're starting the run immediately knowing I have 12 credits to spend, and I can see it costs 9 plus 5, 14. So at this point, you can kind of just abandon the run since you won't get in. It's impossible to get in knowing that there's only one upgrade in the format, and that has to be Skunkworks in that remote server. It was a good game. This was definitely a good game. I think he's figuring out that he cannot get through at this point. Yeah, thinking. He's done the math. Sometimes I have told people learning the game before that they run without doing the math, but it's nice. He just figured out there, and he had free credits to spend on overclock anyways, but just figured out that it wasn't going to work. And that's going to be GG there. In this format, you only play to 6. He's using seamless launch here, which is nice. You don't need it to get to the spot. You have to, actually, no, you did need it because it wasn't advanced. Yeah, and there it is. GG. Commentary's fun. I've never actually done commentary before on somebody else's matches. I think when I first started playing, I did a little bit of commentary on my own matches. It was really bad because I was focusing on playing and thinking about what to do. I'm sure this isn't great as well since it's my first time doing it. But yeah, this is really cool to be able to do. And like I said, I'm hoping that this gets to people that play System Gateway and are learning the game. I find with Netrunner, there's a lot of streams and a lot of incredible content for players that play standard and know what they're doing. But for players that don't know what they're doing, I find that there's just like there's no content. Like, where do you go to learn System Gateway? Where do you go to watch matches of people playing System Gateway? Where do people talk about what cards are strong in this very small format, what the strategy is? It almost doesn't exist. Yes, it was. Being able to see the whole cards is really awesome. And you can do that by when you make a match. You say make players hidden information visible to spectators. Most people don't put that on in this place. In this space, I had told them in this scenario that I was going to, I wanted to record this and do some commentary. Thought it would be good to help new players get into the game, help these two players improve on their journey as Netrunner players. Yeah, I'll make it public. Yeah, I'll be on YouTube. It will be there. Yeah, so here we go. Okay, let's look at these starting hands. Here the runner has got a pretty decent hand because Giuseppe starts with Short Gamble, which you want to see in your opening hand. And Carmen is one of the most important ice to have early because it really negates almost all of the net damage ice. So it's the best icebreaker to have early. You have Docklands, and this technically is a draw card if you make a successful run, so it's not bad. Here, compChomp starting hand is okay. You have some cheap ice. You have Regolith Mining License, but this agenda you actually don't really want to score in this format. So I'm very happy to see compChomp install the Regolith Mining License here and not this agenda, because these 1-point agendas are just like, I think they're trash in this format. A 3-1 is just not very good, especially early in the game. It's one thing if that 1 point you need to win the game, but starting off sinking 3 of your 5 credits into there is no good. So this is nice. You got a Palisades here. There's a lot of interesting lines Giuseppe can take. Certainly you want to start off with your Short Gamble, but then you could tread lightly the remote. compChomp wouldn't be able to res this if you do that, and you'd get in. You could Docklands pass and then Jailbreak HQ. Dockland's Pass will let you see an additional card, and Jailbreak will let you see an additional. So not only will you draw, but you'll see everything. I think this is fine. You don't have to use your Jailbreak here. Going to see Karuna and Urtica Cipher. So that there shows you the importance of running HQ. You see the Urtica Cipher. There's only 2 of these in the format. Now all of a sudden, compChomp's only down to 1 trap. There's only 1 trap left, and those trap cards are very important. This is certainly the right move. Res this, and I would just tick it down here. Just take $9 off it immediately. I don't like to see people res their Regolith and take $3 off, leave 12 on it. It's just like you just invested $2 into this card. I would have just taken 9 off, let them have to deal with getting through. But at this point, I hope compChomp at least takes $6 off there. You get $3 a click. I like this. Undo the click. I like that. Cool. That's great. So it doesn't want to put the ice. Hopefully they just tick it down. Up, Ice HQ, sure, and click down for 2. I think that's fine. I think that line is great. You put Karuna here on HQ. It's one of your stronger ices. I'd probably say the second strongest ice in the format. You put that there. I'd be willing to lose this 1-point agenda and to get my extra $3. Like I said, I think this agenda is only great if you're on 5 points. I think is the first point. You don't want to exactly score that there. On the runner side, you have an interesting hand now. All of these servers are locked, but once you get Carmen down, you can run without fear. I think the play here would be to put down red team, run archives, get your $3 off. This is great. And then I think you can get Carmen down. It leaves you a little broke. Yeah, it leaves you very broke with no money. And now you're drawing for credits, which is a tough spot. So I love the red team play there, but I'm not so sure I put down Carmen just yet. It's tough having no econ. So compChomp is in a good spot here to find on mandatory draw a good agenda, not this. Something nice. Imagine finding Off-World Office on the top of the deck right now. But actually, compChomp's turn, I missed it. It happened so fast. Just cleared the Regolith mining license. Just took the money off, and I think that's totally fine there. Here's going to red team archives up to $3. Still no econ. I think you have to draw up, find some other econ options other than red team here. A Smartware off the top of the deck would be money. Another Sure Gamble would be money. Something off the top of the deck. A telework contract. You really have to have more than $3. This is pretty good. You can afford now to draw one more time and then just creative commission. Yep, exactly. That's good. That's what need to happen. Okay. compChomp's in a tough spot. Has a good window right now to score, but doesn't have anything really worth scoring. I would think here, yeah, maybe install a second piece of ice. I don't think. Okay, it's aggressive. You can certainly do it. A little aggressive for a 1-pointer. I don't want to waste a click, leave $2 on there to get 1 point. I might install government white space on the server and then just score it next turn if I don't draw an agenda. Now, Giuseppe can get in there with Mayfly. So we'll see if he takes that route, install Mayfly, and run for the last click. Yep, and that will be the route he's going to go. No, running R&D, which I find odd here. Not that I find it odd, but I would think if you were going to run R&D, you can get through anything with Mayfly. Why not use the jailbreak here, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a run there is just fine. Not to mention, now that you can see that you can just get through for, $2, you can fully break it. And there you can see trashes the skunk work. That hurts. That's an upgrade that you want to have. Now this is nice scoring at the beginning of your turn. It lets you draw 2. Unfortunately, Brandon hasn't found any agendas. He's got a great window to score right now. Got 2 cards that can get through though. Icing up archives at this point. I think the value has came off of red team. In fact, last run, I don't know but Giuseppe could have ran red team on R&D. That's probably the correct move. Ran red team on archives, but then just did the basic action to run R&D. You could have actually used red team there and gotten the $3 off. This is a tough spot. I think you maybe just install Nico in the remote, force the runner to come in with Mayfly, force the runner to come in and get rid of that Mayfly. I think this needs to go on the remote. There it is. That's the move. Now you're almost hoping here. You got money. You have $14. You're almost hoping that the runner runs this server. Running Palisades here with Mayfly, you'll have to use it, and then you can actually try to score an agenda behind it. But right now, you're in a tough spot trying to score an agenda here. And it looks like Giuseppe just going to try to win off centrals. No can get in here for $2, pays the 2, fully breaks it, and you're going to draw a card, which is great, and get to C2. This is tough. This is a good R&D lock here on a cheap server. Now, compChomp should now know that these next 2 cards are not agendas because they weren't stolen. So you have bought yourself a little bit of time to find a piece of ice and put it on R&D, and those next 2 pieces could be ice. It's possible they're not. Giuseppe can't trash much. And even on that last run again, that should have been a red team run. There's no point to leave that $3 on red team. Yeah, so I think what compChomp needs to do is hopefully draw the runner in here. That would be really great. Maybe even an overclock run on server 1 would be absolutely lovely. But it doesn't look like Giuseppe's doing it. We'll see, though, here. It's really great to see the development, too, of these 2 players. Really great to just see their thinking and their strategy as they develop in this game. It's been really fun to watch them play. 2 clicks left. Wonder what Giuseppe's thinking about. Here now with that draw, probably do creative commission. You still could overclock server 1. When the score is 1-0, I mean, there's not a lot of pressure to run right now. You can just get up your economy, play creative commission. But I know the timing here makes me think that Giuseppe is thinking about running server 1. I don't think it's a bad play. It's just better for compChomp. You want to get rid of that Mayfly. Okay, look at that. This is one of those scenarios, I mean, you don't want to pay $6 to Red's Palisade, but you have Shore Gamble, hedge fund rather, and government subsidy next turn to rebound your economy really nicely. I wouldn't want to scare away the runner, but I guess actually they can't trash this anyway, so what's the point of rezzing? They only had 1 credit left, so. Interesting. Wow. So now we've drawn these 2 cards. These were the 2 cards that Giuseppe saw next turn. That's a fresh card. Now that, I guess this is acceptable here. Typically, I would never put Palisade on R&D. The reason is it gets 2 strength on a remote, and it's generally broken by Cleaver, which is your Fractor. Fractors break barriers in this format. It generally breaks it for $3 on the remote. But when it's on a central server, it breaks it for 1. But this is actually a sneaky good play here because Giuseppe has been just coming into R&D every turn, right? Every turn coming on into R&D. And this will stop Giuseppe from getting in unless they're willing to use Mayfly. We know, looking at the cards, that Giuseppe has no draw cards in hand with the exception of Jailbreak. It's going to be very slow to get down these other breakers. And, oh, interesting. Okay, that's a decent play there with Doplin's Pass. A little risky. If the runner reses white space there, if those ice are in the wrong space, you just wasted an overclock. So it's a little tough spot for your overclock. But Carmen gets through, also known as breaks Karuna for $4. Still have $1 left over. You're going to get to C2. Get superconducting hub. Scores 1-1. We got a game. We got a really nice game here. Very funny that the only agendas that compChomp has seen are these two superconducting hubs, which are pretty much worthless. But yeah, at least now the path to victory for both players is just going to be score, send a message, and an off-world office. But this game has all of the inklings of one that's going to go on for a little bit. The way the agendas are coming off R&D here. All the big ice is still in the deck too. All the big agendas and big ice. Very interesting. I think what you have to do as the corp here is you know that you need to run the runner through this remote. I think you need to start putting ice there now. Yeah, I think that's fair. Either you put that there or you put it on R&D. Either is fair, I think. But at this point, you're clearly not icing HQ ever again. And every time you get a card, you're pumping it into server 1. Your goal should be next turn to try to get Nico in there, and hopefully you could get the runner to maybe run that to get rid of that Mayfly there. Because without Bran, you're going to have a really hard time keeping the runner out of server 1, repeatedly at least. So Giuseppe's got money but no breakers. Really has to just draw for breakers here. Okay, they're finally using that red team. It's going to be a net 1 credit because it's going to cost you $4 to break, and you'll get back 3. This game showcases a lot, too, of why it's so important to have Penny Shaver down early. Look at all of the runs that Giuseppe has made, and each of these would be gaining a credit. So not getting the Penny Shaver down early is really tough in these matches that go a long time. If it's a short game, it doesn't generally matter. Okay, just drew Unity and drew finally a draw card for Roboplasticity, but economy is still an issue here. No smartware distributors. Oh, wow. This is a good spot. If you advance this once, you have a chance of scoring it. And you got your brand there. This is interesting. This one could show some fireworks. So to get through Bran, it's really difficult to break money-wise. The only way to break it is to really click through it in this format, which means you run click 1 and you spend clicks 2, 3, and 4, breaking those 3 subroutines. So if Giuseppe wants to get through there, I'm sure he knows that he would have to run this click. He hasn't seen Bran yet. Bran has to be there, and that's exactly what he does. He runs tread lightly, click 1. So there's the Bran, and you're going to see right here, he's going to have to, he could decide to let it fire, but he's probably going to have to spend 3 clicks here. Ooh, it's going to be ugly. Looks like he may be able to get through there. 3 clicks here. Oh, he's not. He's just going to let it fire, it looks like. Yep. So he broke just the subroutine that says install a piece of ice, meaning I don't think I can get through there. And that's understandable. You only got $5, right? Saying I don't think I can get through that ice. And say, but don't install one, end the run. And let's see if he could. He had $5, right? You could technically let this fire, not spend anything to break it, let it do a net damage, let the corp gain $1. Corp's already got $12. And then this one here would cost you, to break with Mayfly, would cost you $4, 3 to boost, and 1 to break. So technically you could have got through and still had $1 left. Now here, seeing the seamless launch, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh no, here it comes. Seamless launch, advance, advance, score, send a message. I'm not sure what compChomp is waiting for, but there it is. Seamless launch, advance, advance. Get to res your most expensive ice, which at this point is probably Palisade. I would say on the remote. I know it costs the same, but I wouldn't want the runner to know what's on R&D. Keep it a secret. Yeah, well played. Really nice. We got a game. Still a lot of economy issues. Smartware is a great piece of economy, but it's so slow. I mean, yes, you're clicking for 3 credits once it's installed, but this late in the game, you know, we're talking it's now turn 9, finally getting it down. It's like, how much money are you really going to see from this smartware? Are you just you have no choice really to play it, but you've just spent 2 clicks and you've seen no money. Next turn you'll see your first dollar. So it's really unfortunate in this format when you draw those economy pieces so late. It's very tough. Giuseppe really has to think at this point, like, where am I winning this game? Do I think I can win it on server 1? I would say you're kind of broke at this point, probably not. You may decide, figure out what's on R&D. You have this Mayfly, and just try to lock down R&D. What that means is just make sure you're always seeing the top card of R&D. Of course, compChomp knows that, and as I mentioned, it puts a piece of ice on R&D, saying, I'm not going to let you go in there. This is going to be a tough game, though, because you really want to find that last 2-pointer quickly if you're compChomp. I wouldn't want to draw right now because it's not safe with Dockland's Pass. You might just gain a credit here. You want to keep this credit total kind of up so you can res this stuff. But you really want to draw your last seamless launch. You definitely want to get that in hand, and you'd love to get a 2-pointer. I think drawing there on the last click is hella risky. You draw off-world office there, that's a tough spot to be in, especially with Dockland's Pass on the table. So now finally, Giuseppe gets the cleaver, gets the penny shaver, gets the draw card. It's a little late. There's 11 cards left in the deck. You have no money. It's just a tough spot to be in. It's a really tough spot to be in right now. compChomp has played this one really well. Had Giuseppe been able to go through server 1, the turn that send a message was scored, that would have been a play. Just commit to it. And this is tough, leaving yourself with a buck here. It's like, yeah, you have a cleaver down, but you could have got through everything with Mayfly that you could have with cleaver. It's just a tough spot. And now that second Bram, that is powerful. I mean, I'd be so... At this point, there's only 2 tread lightlies in the format, right? Hear me out. Both of them are in the bin. I'd be tempted to destroy this hit here. When you install ice, you can trash ice, so install on that server. I'd install the second Bran, and maybe you'll do that after you get some of the money off this. Right now, compChomp should just clear this. Res. Oh, no. Yeah, you don't want that there. The reason you don't want that there is you just want to clear some money up, get this Bran on server 1. I mean, Giuseppe's broke. It costs $4 to get through this. And you can even trash this ice when you install to save yourself $1. And you just want to get those 2 Brans on the remote at this point. Just draw from R&D, just throw something in there. I mean, he's got no money. Where is he going, But this Bran on HQ, I think, is a mistake. You can click through 1 Bran, and you can get enough money to break this ice. Let's be honest. This one breaks for $3. This one you don't even have to break. And right now, Giuseppe's getting money. But to get through Bran costs with cleaver, something like $9. It costs 6 to boost. It costs $8. 6 to boost, 2 to break. Just clear this. Clear that. Take that money. Absolutely. And I bet compChomp is thinking now, had this Bran been on server 1, how impossible it was going to be for Giuseppe to get in. And you want Giuseppe to run HQ. You want Giuseppe to spend that $4. You're going to, as soon as you get an agenda, ship it in server 1. If you see an agenda on this next draw, it's shipped in server 1. The only thing that you're hoping now is that you don't see send a message. It's a little bit harder to score. You're hoping you see off-world office, and then you can just throw that in server 1 and not advance it. Makes it a little bit more discreet. And Giuseppe's got money here, but hasn't ran. Hasn't shown that has this. I think next turn we're going to see some fireworks here. Discards the extra carbon. In this format, that's totally fine. Once you get a breaker, there's no program destruction. We call that rig shooting. Just throw it on the table. LaCroix, if you're watching, you can sponsor my next video. For all 7 of my viewers, send me free seltzer. I think compChomp here needs to draw. I think you need to get this Palisade on the remote. I think you're in a tough spot now, not having this Bran on that remote. That Bran on the remote is a totally different beast at this point. Double Bran isn't something that you usually do. But at this stage of the game, the way it's 4 points, you need to score that last agenda. It is the move. There's no point to Ice HQ in this point of the game. compChomp is thinking. One tip for good Netrunner is if you ever decide you're going to draw first. It looks like compChomp is probably going to draw with this last click. You never want to draw on your last click. The reason being is, one, when you draw, it might change what you want to do. Let's say that last card was an agenda. Would you have still clicked Regolith twice? Who knows? But it changes what you're going to do when you draw. So you always want to draw first. Now what's interesting is there's 8 cards left in the deck, and they are pretty much like all agendas. I think you have to res this here. You do, great. And hopefully it makes it look like you're taxing the runner. Let's see if he spends the 3 clicks. Yep, he's doing it. Good, so that's a whole turn waster there. It does make it look like there's something here in HQ, but we know there's nothing there. In my opinion, I'm not so sure it's so great running HQ here. Just because if there was something in there, why wouldn't compChomp have put it in server 1? Why leave it in HQ? And there it is. You have to just install this in server 1. And yeah, and this costs 3 to get through. 3 clicks, 3, that's only $6. I mean, I don't even know you can res everything there. You'd much rather have, like, these 2 ice together are $3 to get through. And this one is $3 to get through. So 6 to get through those 2. And to cost the corp to put them there, because there's so many spots out, because this is 4 spots out, it costed $3. And because this one is 5 spots out, it costed $4. It cost $7 just to place those there. $7 to place them, and you get through them for 6. This one you would have placed there for $3, and it cost a lot more. Oh, this is good for compChomp here, because they're not going to have resources to get through here. So Giuseppe has said, I can't win on this first server. I'm going to get through here. The problem is, of those 7 cards, there's a lot of agendas left. We've seen 4 agendas, and in this format, there's 7 cards. Let's see how many agendas are there. The corp deck has 7 agendas. There's 3 in there, so 3 out of 7 are agendas. Yep, so there's 1. That's not the one you want to see at the beginning. There's still 2 agendas out of those 6 cards. Not what you want to see. 2 agendas out of those 6 left. You got a 33% chance of winning on this next one. It looks like it's a trashable card, though. Okay. And it was Urtica Cypher. They trashed it. So you can actually go back now with Jailbreak, and you're going to see 2 fresh cards, because you saw 2, and one of them was an agenda and you trashed. Yep, there it is. Ooh, this is a good play. That's really good. You figure there's 5 cards left. You're going to see 2 of them. And what did we say? There's 7 agendas. So 2 of the 5 are agendas. So the probability of seeing the first one is 2 out of 5. And all of them are game winners at this point. And the probability, if it's not, of seeing the next one is 2 out of 4. I'm going to do some math for you. 2 out of 5 times 2 out of 4 means your probability of seeing it is, well, actually it would have to be 3 out of 5 you miss times 2 out of 4 is 6 out of 20. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It wants to undo. Oh, he doesn't have enough money. He doesn't have enough money to get through, because he can't get through here. Oh, my bad. Look at me. So what they're asking here is, can they undo the click? If no new information is gained, they can undo it. Yes, we know that there's a jailbreak here, but let's also remember that it's the last click of the game here, right? And just draws up. Yeah, this is a good game. Both good games. These are 2 good players playing good Netrunner. Very interesting there. Yeah, just didn't have enough money to get through at the end. And now the delay is discarding down to 5. You can only hold 5 cards. Yeah, this is really cool. And that's the game there. GG. GG, double corporate. Really fun to watch. Wow. Yeah, so you can do some math there on the end, knowing the agendas. I mean, there was 4 cards left, right? We said there's 7 agendas in this format, right? So the probability of seeing an agenda, yeah, he knows. Yeah, so I mean, there's only 4 cards left. 2 of them are agendas, right? But he did just mandatory draw. So 5 cards in R&D. 2 of them are agendas, right? So the odds of seeing it if you're just looking at 1 card is 2 out of 7. Allow me to use my Texas instrument here. That's a 28% chance if you're seeing 1 card. But you have to add to that, if you don't see the first card, that means you access 5 out of 7. 5 out of 7 are agendas. And then you're going to see 2 out of the remaining 6. 5 times 2 is 10 over 42. 10 divided by 42 is 23%. So, I mean, on the first card, it's pretty good chances. And on the second one, it's still good chances. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and it was an ice the next card. So, yeah. Wow. 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 Good game. Yeah, very interesting. I wonder if my commentary is any good. Who knows? Like I said, it's the first time I've done this. I had a blast doing it. Thank you to compChomp2.0. Thank you to Giuseppe for having me commentate this game. I'm sure it wasn't very good. I don't have a microphone. The audio couldn't be very good. But I had fun doing it. And more importantly, I hope you have fun watching it back. Remember, always be running. If you're new to this channel, jam that like button and subscribe. I'm going to try to post more Netrunner content if I get a chance. Who knows if that will happen. Until next time, always be running. See ya.